Hello, hello. Rosa Sausage Creations, how are you doing? Bringing to you today, we're going to be making some pie crust from scratch. Never done it, but we're going to see. Okay. So, using my trusty old Betty Crocker cookbook. we're gonna double this recipe because I actually had a really good friend of mine that has the same cookbook, and she made this pie crust that's in the book. She has the exact same book that I got, so I know it tastes good. So we're gonna double it, and we're gonna make 4 9-inch pie crust. Okay, so it asks for, oops, bear with me. I need to get my readers. Some of this stuff is really fine print. And been wanting to do this for a while, so we're going to go ahead and I'm taking the plunge and doing it now. I want to make, I already got everything put together to make a breakfast quiche. And I had a store-bought box pie crust, but I didn't realize it expired. 2015. I opened it up, smelled fine, but then I touched it really moist, so I put the whole thing in the garbage. I wasn't taking no chances because I know it should have been powdery. But it wasn't. Okay, so it asks for an 8 or 9 inch 2 crust pie. You want 2/3 cup plus 2 tablespoons of shortening, or want 2/3 cup of lard, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 4 to 5 tablespoons of cold water. So let's start off with 2/3 cup plus 2 tablespoons of shortening. And let me move this over here so I can reach and read at the same time. I've got this sitting here on my old pot here. So we're going to go with 2/3 cup of shortening, lard, using my trusty Crisco. And I'm using these little measurements because this is going to be easy for me to read and push it out. 2/3 cup. Got my knife to dig into my Crisco can. Ew, I'm running out of Crisco. I didn't realize I was already running low on it, but I have another tiny little one, my emergency stash. Whoops. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all this together because I really want to stay within my 15-minute time frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause y'all. I'm going to measure everything, get it ready, and then I'll bring you back when it comes to putting it together. Okay, so we'll bring you back. Okay, we are back. And I had to go get my emergency stash, baby, Crisco. Thank goodness I have my emergency stash. Okay, so I doubled it. So I've got 4 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. I got 2 tablespoons of salt. And I got my 2/3 cup plus 2 tablespoons of shortening. Double that. So now we're just going to mix it all up. And I do have my little handy-dandy pastry sheet. Because it says you want to mix it all together until everything comes out into a small pea size. Okay, and this is for sure. You're going to get dirty in this one. Well, one hand will, my other hand will be dry. So we're just going to mix this up. I want to get some of my flour over here on the shortening that I had here. And okay, just double check and make sure I'm in frame. And I am. Oops, don't want to get my glasses dirty. Since my subscribers know I'm a little oinky when it comes to cooking and baking. So now I'm just going to mix this all up until the flour and the shortening and the salt are all incorporated, and I get pea-sized little pieces of shortening and flour mixture all together. So don't forget, go all the way down to the center. Go to all the sides because you want to make sure everything's very well incorporated. Get it all there. I'm starting to get my little pea-sized bottoms. I can see that. There we go. So it really didn't take very long. I don't think I have to use my pastry thing. No sense in getting something dirty and having to wash it when I don't have to. Let me know if you agree. Give me a thumbs up. Post in the comments. Oh, as I'm feeling, I found another piece in my flour. Look at that. It was really hard. I don't know what it was because this was a brand new package that came out of the packaging that I just bought from the grocery store. So, but again, it's like anything else. Things happen unless you do it yourself. Which is why I'm learning to cook and bake from scratch so I can see exactly what all is in the item. Okay. And I do see a lot of pea size. Okay, so then you want to, once you get all the pea size stuff, you want to add your water in, 1 tablespoon at a time, and you want to use cold water. And for what I've done some reading, and I've done some things on Google, and I've done a lot of YouTubes, and I think I'm at the point. See that? Tell me if you think this is the good stopping point. I know it'd be too late for me to review them because this is not going to come on for a couple of weeks, but I think we're at the point because there are a lot of pea-size crumbles in here. And I know I saw some that use butter instead of shortening, but since this is my first time, I'm going to follow it to the T. But my next batch, I think I'm going to try the butter one and see, instead of shortening, and use butter and see if that makes a difference. Because I want, oops, I just, Rosa to the same old, I just spilt. Thank goodness I didn't get any on my book. But I did make a little bit of a mess. Okay, I think we are. See, we're all crumbly. I think we're good to go. I think everything's pretty much mixed. Okay, so now we're going to add, okay, so sprinkle in water 1 tablespoon at a time. Toss in with a fork until all flour is moist. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to, this is what I'm going to use my pastry brush. I don't want to get up and go get a fork. Okay, so we'll do 1 tablespoon to all, it's all moist. And pastry almost cleans on the inside of the bowl. Oh, okay, well that's good. I know for sure I need at least 2 more because there's a lot there. Because it did say for 4 or 5 tablespoons. So that's 3. And I'm digging in the middle, going to the sides. And you want it to shape a ball. Okay, gather pastry into a ball shape. Yeah. Sprinkle 1 tablespoon at a time. Toss in with a fork until all flour is moistened and pastry almost cleans the side of the bowl. 1 to 2 tablespoons water can be added if necessary. So I think we did 3 scoops of water, 3 tablespoons of water. Ugh. And I gotta pull this up closer to me. That's hurting my arm. Okay, so I think we're going to need another tablespoon of water. So this is now 4 tablespoons of water. And let's see if I can clump it all into one ball. Because that's the goal, is you want to clump it all into one ball. Okay, well it's working. Look at that. Yep, it's starting to work. I think what I'm going to do with the extra pie crust is make an apple pie. We got some apple pie filling and can. I don't have any apple pie filling that I pressure can. we used it all up. So I'm waiting for the new season to come, which is coming soon, when the apples will be on sale again. And grab a whole bunch more apples, and I can pressure can some apple pie filling. That way we'll have it and we'll be ready. Okay, I think I'm almost done. Oh, but you know what? This is tiring. I'm using my muscles. And I didn't get to go to the gym today. So this is giving me my arm workout muscles. At least in my right arm. Okay, now I can't scrape like it says. You can scrape the sides of the bowl. But I want it to come into one big ball. It says gather the pastry into a ball, shape until flattened and rounded. Okay, so I'm assuming this is what it says, because you want to shape it into a ball. And it's shaping into a ball and it's sticking. The next thing I want to learn how to make is how to make flaky pie crust. So a flaky, no, not pie crust, a flaky pastry. So I can make some fruit flavored. Okay, there we go. See, it all got used up. Oh, my rolling pin way down there. Okay, I'm gonna read it all over again. So. Cut the shortening into the flour and salt to particulars or size of a small pea. Sprinkle with water 1 tablespoon at a time. Toss them with a fork until all flour is moistened. And pastry almost cleans the side of the bowl, which I just did. Gather the pastry into a ball. Shape into a flattened round on lightly floured cloth. Covered board for 2 crusts. Divide pastry into half and shape into 2 rounds. So we're doubling it. We're going to get 4. So that's 1. I'm just going to separate this into little balls. So we have 4 of them about equal size. Okay, let me go. Excuse the reach. I got to get my rolling pin roll. It kept on rolling down as I was moving things over. And it does say lightly floured. And I like this pastry sheet because, you know what, I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to put this right over here while I'm working. And you know what, let me get myself a little bit more flour, because I want to make sure this whole thing is, it says lightly floured. I don't want to put too much in there. Okay. Now I've seen some people do this. I'm just assuming it spreads out the flour so your stuff rolls well. And then we just want to, I think this is pretty much mixed up pretty good. It feels like it. Now we're just going to roll this into a ball. Excuse me, no, we're going to roll this flat. Oh, but it's all cracking. I don't think it's supposed to do that. I wonder if I should have needed some more. Gather pastry into a ball. Okay. Well, it cleans like it did it fine. And this is a recipe for the standard pastry, a standard pie crust. But I don't like the way the ends of it. I'm wondering, do I need more shortening or do I need more? I don't think I need more flour. I need something that's going to bind it. Oh, you know what? I need to put that in the middle because I want to do a 9-inch. So let's put this in the middle. And here's my 9-inch. That's why I got this pastry sheet, so I know what a 9-inch roll would look like. Oops. Okay, someone tell me what does this mean when my pieces are coming up. You know, I think I may need to get this moistened more, maybe a little bit more moisture. It's just a little bit of moisture. I'm just dropping it. because I think it's a little too dry. If somebody knows, please let me know. And let me put this together. Whoops. Yeah, I think it does need more moisture. But I really don't know. Too bad with a bunch of the videos that you see, you don't really get to see up close, like something like this. What am I doing wrong? I'm doing something wrong because it's spreading, but it's breaking up. I think I need a little bit more water. But I'm just doing dropfuls of water. I'm not doing a whole bunch of water. I'm doing like the recipe said, a little bit at a time. Okay, let's do a little bit more water. I'm just doing dropfuls, little drops here and there. Hubby's watching TV. Oh yeah, I think that's what I needed, is I needed more moisture in here. Because it seems to be a little bit easier to shape. Okay, so I gotta remember to do that. Okay, let's add a little bit more flour to the pastry sheet. Okay, I'm glad I got my apron on. Oops, let's put this in the center. I'm going to roll out a 9-inch, oops. Let me put some flour on my rolling pin so it doesn't stick to it. Oh, it's sticking to it. Let me get myself some more flour and put a little pile here. Okay. And let's move this. You know what? I think it's still too dry. Because it's just falling apart, which is crumbling, which I'm thinking just in theory, in layman's term, for me to comprehend this, because it's falling apart, I think it's just too moist. I mean, it's too dry. So it needs more moisture. So I probably should have put 5 tablespoons of water in here. And it says you can always add more, because of course a lot of it's your humidity in your area where you're at. That's another factor. But we're in Houston, so I would be thinking it's got plenty moist. It had been raining. That was earlier during the day when I was at work. Okay. Now let's see. I'm going to play with this a little bit more because I don't want to keep this too long. And I will bring you back when we're totally done to put it in the pie shell. I did it! It was way too dry. But look at that. Didn't that turn out pretty? It's nice and shiny. Now I'm just waiting for the oven to say it's ready to bake it in. I'm going to bake it at 475 for about, I think it said 8 to 10 minutes. And then it'll be ready. And this is in my little quiche pan. Isn't that pretty? This is a little quiche pan dish that we're going to be making a breakfast quiche. Okay. We'll bring you back when it's done. Okay, I'm going to show you the secret. Okay. I did the other two already. I wrapped these up. There's one, and there's the other, because they're going to go in the freezer for another day. But the secret is add a little bit of water at a time, and mix it all up, and put it in a ball, and then as you're spreading it, if it doesn't fall apart, that means it's getting to the texture that you need. And you see that right there? how it's starting to tear a little, just a little bit right there. Okay, knead it some more because you want the moisture to get around all of the pastry. And see that? So as you're rolling it, add just a little, tiny little bit. I'm doing little droplets of water, so a little at a time. Let me go with this side because I don't want that side because I'm going to get ready. I did find my one last jar of apple pie filling that I pressure can. And I'll bring it to you in just a second. But my first one's already out of the oven. And it's a nice little light golden brown. Because it's going to be for the quiche. And it's going to cook for about 45 minutes, so I didn't want it. I did cook it for a solid 10 minutes. Okay. And then look at that. See? This is what you want. So you just add a little bit of water at a time. I've got my flour on my pastry sheet. Let me bring you back so you can see that. Okay. Flour on your rolling pin. This is in the center because I want a 9-inch. Look at that. See how smooth it rolls now? Yay! I did it! Just practice, patience. I knew the other part was just a little too dry because it's like it was falling apart. Now I forgot if I'm supposed to turn this over. I think I can, but I don't know. And flip it. So look how there's a couple of flakes of, and look at that, how it's nice and pliable now. Oop, my knee's killing me. Okay. And I'm trying to make it round. And I want it to be into, I found a metal, I actually got 3 more of those in my hidden stash. So I can make hubby an apple pie for dessert for tonight. And oh, and it says you want to make it bigger than this, so you definitely want it to overlap because it's going to shrink as it bakes. So for 9-inch, I'm going to do like 9.5 if I can do that. Oh, I got to get up. Okay, so now let's put it into the, I've seen people do this where they roll it, then they unroll it in here. So let's see how that works. Okay, there's my overlap there. Yay, you see that? It's working. I'm a little bit off. But, you know, I'm a beginner. And I'm learning. And I'm taking you along the way. So as I'm learning, y'all are learning. And for you seasoned people, thank you, thank you. I would love for your comments on making this a little bit easier. I have to practice with the rolling part. And it says press it down all the way into your dish, your pie dish, or whatever it is that you're making. Now I've got this little overlap here, so I'm just going to tear this part off, and then I'm going to put it over here on this short edge and press it down together. There's a little bit of overhang. And I'm not going to worry about all that fancy stuff because I'm getting pooped. This is a lot of, not a lot of work, but you know, this is my very first time doing this too, so. Okay. And hopefully, because this is made from scratch and it's not store-bought, I'm hoping you can definitely taste the difference. So it's not perfect, doesn't look really pretty, but mainly as I'm getting the main gist of making a pie crust from scratch. And I don't have any more extra pie crust, so I'm just going to make do with what I have. But this is not going to no party or nothing. Just going to be hubby and I. He may take some to his co-workers, I don't know. I don't have any co-workers, so it's just me and the boss, and he's diabetic, so he doesn't eat this stuff. Okay, so now I'm just putting this together, pinching it here and there. I'm a little bit short here, but that's okay. Then you get the fork and you poke holes on the flat part and on the edges. And this is to keep it from bubbling and getting a big bubble. There you go. See that? Now I'm going to take you over here to the one I did make. Let me put this in the oven. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes because the oven's still on. And that is hot because I just got it out of the oven. But I'm going to bring you up close so you can see it. Ooh, got my hot plate. Oh, that's hot. Look at that. Doesn't that turn out pretty? Now, of course, it's a little flaky, but then that's how this is my first time, so. And then here is my Candace, October 2020, October 30, 2020, my last jar of apple pie filling. So when that one is ready, we're going to put the pie filling in there, put it in the oven. I'm not going to put, you know, I think I will save one of those pie crusts to put on top, so you can have a pie crust on top of the pie, not just open. And now we're going to finish with the quiche. So let me bring you back to that. Whoops, sorry about that. I already got everything together. I'm just going to, I left everything in the fridge. Let me, here we got some breakfast sausage. Here's my scrambled eggs that I had in the fridge because I was making the pie. I didn't think it was going to take as long as it did. And here's my hash browns that I dehydrated myself. Peeled the potatoes, dehydrated them. They're a little dark because this pan of hash browns, I forgot to blanch the potatoes. Let me get this out of the way. I know this is cold because it's been cold for a while. Let me get some of my sausage. So we're going to have sausage potato quiche. This is going to be for our breakfast tomorrow. And the next, probably for another 2 more days. And then we're just mixing it all up. I'm not going to add salt and pepper because hubby and I have different textures of salt and pepper. I'm just going to crumble it up and make sure the hash brown's in there. And it's all mixed up. Okay. I'm going to add that in. There we go. Whew. I almost had a little overfill there. But that's okay. It'll still work. Now I'm just moving it around so the hash browns and the sausage, you can get one at every bite. And now this is going to go in the oven. Oh, my directions are on my phone. And it's going to take 45 minutes, and I think it's 325 or 375, but I'll put a pop-up, and then of course a full description will be in the description box. Lost my train of thought. So I'm going to wait for that to come out, and then this is going to go in. Okay, yeah, it's still a little warm. So let's both move this out of the way. And let's move this over here. So when that one's ready, I can put that here. Here's where I spilled some of my sausage. And then we'll be back for the taste test of both the apple pie and the quiche with our homemade pie crust that you and I made together today. Okay, we are back. The quiche turned out really good. Let me show you. See, there's the quiche. See the crust. The apple pie. Yum, yum, yum. And let's do a little taste test. And here's my leftovers. I went ahead and sliced them up. They're all ready to go in the fridge. They've cooled off. The pie has cooled off. This is really, really, really good. That's a little quiche. The crust is flaky. It's not overly greasy. It tastes like regular pie crust. My pie kind of went, I didn't have enough filling. And some had overflow, so that's going to be a big chore for me to clean up tomorrow. But I'm tired, I'm ready to go to bed. And I want to bring you up close so you can see that. And see that? There's the crust, the back of the crust. There's that. I did that little lattice work on it. See, did a little lattice work. No, it's not pretty. It's not. It's got a lot to do with looks, but you know, a lot of that is going to come with practice. The more I practice, the prettier it's going to be. But the biggest thing is the taste. Mmm. That is an apple pie. Here's one of the little lattice pieces that were on top. That is some good pie crust. And I'm just eating now just the crust. Man, I'm glad I learned how to make this. The next one's, the more I practice, the more it'll look prettier. Finger licking good. Great quiche. Hubby and I will enjoy that for breakfast. If there's enough in there, I'll probably have it for breakfast and I'll have it for lunch. I don't have to worry about it. And then the pie for the dessert is awesome. I did find, I wanted to show you, I had these and who knows how old, because look how old and faded it is. These are pie crust shields, and they're made of heavy duty aluminum, and this particular packet had 5 of them, and you just put it around your pie, then you fold this part underneath it. So you kind of just like this, but I didn't think I needed it. But actually, as you can see, on this part, it did get a little overly toasty. Okay, but the center turned out really good. But then also, I messed up and I baked the bottom pie crust, which I should have left it raw. But because this is already pre-cooked pie filling, it wasn't going to take as long as it normally would if it was a raw pie filling, which required 45 minutes. I'll put a pop-up of the ingredients, and in the description box will be the full recipe for each one, the quiche and the apple pie. And I gotta get another taste. I know I made it myself, and this is my first time making from scratch a pie crust. The flavor, the flakiness, you could see, There's a piece of apple. Man. I'll put a link. I don't know if I took a video of this or not, because I made this a long time ago, before I did videos. If I find that I did do a video of how to make this apple pie filling, I'll put a link in the description box. This is one very tasty. It doesn't, the crust doesn't crumble. You chew on it. You know, even though it's not pretty looking, it tastes good. That crust is just like phenomenal. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. This is my take on made from scratch pie crust for a quiche, a breakfast quiche, and an apple pie. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.